Hi guys, welcome back to a freezing cold Sheffield, and I'm a lucky boy. I got a Christmas present from my lovely daughter Lauren, and she bought me this. It's not everybody's idea of a Christmas present, but it's what I wanted, and it's a switching unit that you can use for mains power or power from the inverter, and whichever one's supplying the power, it will send power out to all the power sockets in the van. So the sockets that I could only previously use when I was hooked up to mains, I will be able to use from the inverter now. So this is the unit. It's a H-tronic Umschallstation. I don't know how to pronounce that with a German accent. It's the MPC 1000, and the little neons on the front there are the master, the load and the slave, so which one is operating it'll let you know. And inside we have 3 connections, well 4 including the earths. So the master on the right hand side there is where I'm going to put the mains input, and the slave is where I'm going to put the inverter input, and the load is the output, so that's going to go to the consumer unit, and all the earths go into this one here. So whichever one goes into the master is the dominant one. So if I put the inverter in there and the mains into the slave one, then if both the inverter and the mains were connected or on, then it would this one would be dominant, so the inverter would override the mains input, but I don't want it that way, so the mains is going to go in there. So the main problem I've got is where to put it. This has got to go in here somewhere, and there's not much room. So the wire at the bottom here, this one, this is what comes from the mains hookup to power the circuit breakers, the consumer unit, and that wire is going to connect to the master on the switching unit, and then I'm going to need a cable coming from the inverter, and that's going to connect to the load on the switching unit, the slave on the switching unit, not the load, the slave, and then the load, which is the outlet from the switching unit, has got to take the place of this and go in there. So there's going to be a bit of shuffling and rejigging these units here, so we'll see how we go on. So I've had to take the whole lot out. The reason being that this wire that comes from the mains hookup is very short and it can only reach so far, so we'll have to get the switcher close to that and try and get everything else where it can go. So I'm rejoining you from the Long Mynd in Shropshire. I've come away for a few days. Never been down here before. It's absolutely gorgeous and the weather's been amazing. We've had every day's been beautiful blue skies, and this morning I'll just flip the camera around and show you. Woke up to a beautiful clear frosty morning today again. The road there's covered in frost. So anyway, we've got before I left I got this wiring done, and the short wire that I mentioned that comes in from the mains on the outside of the van, the blue one is there, and that goes onto this terminal block here, the master. The inverter cable is on the end of the plug, goes through, comes out here and goes onto the slave terminal block, and the output from both, whichever one's connected, comes out here and goes up and connects onto the main circuit breaker in the fuse board. All the other circuit breakers are wired up as before, so it's all fitted in okay. But there is a problem. When it's connected up to the mains and the mains takes priority, everything's fine, everything works as normal. But when I put on the inverter, which I'll do now. This is what happens. There's no power to the socket in the kitchen, as there should be, or anywhere else. So when this started happening, I checked it out, and I found out that under this blue cover here there is a fuse, and that was completely smashed to pieces. Maybe happened in transit, I don't know, from Germany. And so I ordered some more fuses from Amazon, though that's got to be the problem. And I fitted a new fuse and it's exactly the same. So I've been in touch with the people who I bought it from, and we're in communication at the moment. I don't know what they're going to do about it, but we will see, and I will let you know. But that's not the only problem I've got at the moment, so take a look at this. So the heated pads that I fitted to the tanks in one of my recent videos, I haven't had chance to test them yet until the weather got really cold, which it has done now. And so I tried them, I switched them on and watched to make sure that they were using power, that they were going to heat up. And so when I put the switch on for the heated pad on the waste tank, you can see that that's gone down to minus 4.46 amps. That's the current draw, so that one's working okay. And then I just switch that off and put the fresh tank heater pad on. Absolutely nothing. So that tells me that that's not working. And if you saw all the trouble I went to fit these, all the time and expense, I can honestly, that's really disappointing. And would I recommend these back on heater pads? Not on your Nelly, so that means no. So that's another problem to sort out. So I tested all the wiring that's going down to the heater pad. I had to take the fridge out again, which was a real pain, and I used the multimeter and tested the wiring, tested the power going down there onto the pad, and it's getting there fine. Just the pad's not heating up or using any power. So it's been a couple of weeks, and BuvTech, they've been really good, and they've decided to send me a new unit through, which has just arrived, and so I'm going to give that a go, get it fitted. So that's the new unit in place. There's the old one, and I've not tried it yet, but I've connected the hairdryer to the socket in the kitchen just above the cooker, which previously only worked on the mains hookup. So if I turn the inverter on and that hairdryer comes on, then everything should be fine. Go, success at last. Oh, that's brilliant. Great stuff. So now I'm going to try it on the mains. Yep, it's working too, so everything's working as it should now. So I can turn the inverter on from here. The hairdryer's working. There we go. So we got there eventually, and what this also means is that the Victron mains battery charger that normally only charged the batteries when I was connected to electric mains hookup will now charge when the inverter's on. So that means that it will be drawing power from the batteries to put power back onto the batteries, which is completely pointless. So when that's not in use, I will, or when I'm using the inverter, I need to turn this switch off at the side of the mains battery charger to stop that happening. But it also means that the socket that the 240 volt socket that's next to the Truma combi boiler that powers the boiler, that normally only works on electric hookup, also works on inverter now. So what I could do when I'm driving along is turn on the inverter and use that for producing hot water, so it's going to save gas. So that's another benefit of having this system. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and hope you subscribe. It means a lot, so thank you if you do, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.